Hi, this is a summary of our current understanding of the new legal framework for special educational needs that will start in September 2014. Please note, this is our understanding of it as it applies in Shropshire schools. Other LEAs may interpret the code in different ways. The principles in the Code of Practice is to move to joined-up working so that health and care and education work together. We also have to produce what's called a local offer. This is a clear table on our website showing exactly what we do for new parents so that they can decide if William Brookes is a school that they wish their children to attend. There's also the introduction of what's known as personal budgets. These are for children who have a statement and for whose statement is for more than 25 hours. It's that more than bit that you can apply to the local council to draw down to use for things at home such as occupational therapy. I'm afraid it has to be done in negotiation with the council and you have to show specifically what it's going to be used for, so it's no good getting it for a new conservatory or a holiday to Barbados. There's also going to be the establishment of education, health and care plans. These are statements. Statements are going to be rewritten at moments of transition. Your child's statement will be rewritten when they leave school at 16. The vision of the new Code of Practice is a vision that we all share. It's a vision that we've had at William Brookes for a long time and is probably the reason most of us went into education. So where are we? In 2010, the idea of a new Code of Practice for SEN was floated by the Labour government. There have been several practice areas and pilot areas. There have been a number of drafts and we're awaiting the publication of the final draft. It was supposed to be in March. The date keeps being pushed back, but irrelevant to the date of publication of that, we have to start implementing it on the 1st of September. So what do we need it to do? Well, we need to make sure that students' needs are identified clearly. They have to be communicated to staff. We have to make sure we're seeking help from the correct outside agencies at appropriate times. We have to make sure that we're setting targets for improvement and identifying strategies to help students. And all these must inform decisions about resourcing. There are some new terms in the Code of Practice. Special educational needs is now student support, or SS. Statements are now called education, health and care plans. Sometimes they're ECHPs, sometimes they're EHC plans, but irrelevant of what the acronym is used, they're basically statements. School Action and School Action Plus have disappeared as categories. You either have special needs or you don't. We have to make sure that we're identifying and acting on needs. In terms of students in year 9 and 10, we need to make sure that option time students get extra support, and when they want to move on to post-16 placements, they get extra support as well. This usually means additional meetings with myself and additional careers interviews. During year 9, we also identify students for exam help. They have to be screened using what we call standardised tests. These are officially published tests where students are graded against students of the same age. The sample sizes are quite big on these tests. They're graded against thousands of other students, sometimes nationally, sometimes internationally. On a standardised test, an average score would be 100. To get exam help, students have to score less than 85 on the tests. We need to make sure that there's a smooth transition to post-16. One of the best things I think about the new Code of Practice is that ECHPs will continue to 24. In the old days, statements used to finish as soon as somebody left school, and now young adults will be protected as they start into the world of work. We make sure that all our teachers know about the students with SEN. The code is very clear on this. All teachers are teachers of children with special educational needs. Interventions cannot compensate for poor quality teaching. So we maintain an SEN list. All staff have a paper copy of this at least once a year, usually twice a year, and it's consistently available on the school's computer network. This is what it might look like. You can see that Mrs. Dickinson is the tutor for Year 7. Each year group has a separate support tutor so that staff know with whom to liaise about SEN matters. Fred Smith, who doesn't exist by the way, has special educational needs support. He's got a clear diagnosis of dyslexia, and therefore his reading age and spelling age are highly relevant for staff. The comments give helpful strategies to staff to help him. Frida Jones, who also doesn't exist, has a disability. This is not about a learning need, more an access to learning need. Therefore, her reading and spelling age are not relevant. But we have to make sure that she has access to the full national curriculum. John Jones is on what we call monitor. This means he's not officially classed as having special educational needs. He has a diagnosis, and you can see that his reading and spelling age are on the low side. But he's making progress. And so because he's making progress, we don't need to set him separate targets and use an IEP. We have to just keep an eye on him. All students are carefully monitored at William-Brookes. Tutors, tutor teams and subject teams use a program called 4Matrix. This is one of the things we can use to keep an eye on how our students are going. Aaron Armstrong, who also doesn't exist, is not doing very well. As you can see, his pink path, his actual performance, is rather much below what he should be achieving. If Aaron Armstrong did exist, we would be putting in quite a few interventions sort of down this end of it to try and get his pink path up to where it should be. We use a lot of outside agencies. If you feel your child would benefit from one, please let us know. But don't forget, we have a lot of in-house expertise as well. We're very skill rich at William-Brookes. As you know, if you've had a child with a statement, annual reviews, the student is supposed to sit in the whole meeting and takes a very active part. In IEPs, all IEPs are based on a discussion with the student. We start with a few skeleton targets and then twiddle and fiddle with those during our discussion in a one-to-one interview with the student, and their views are recorded on the IEP. Obviously, at transition points, students' viewpoint is paramount, and when considering post-16 options, it's what they want to do that counts. Thank you very much for looking at this. If you have any further queries, you can contact Elle Ravenscroft or Simon Anderson.